All right, you guys recording?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, and welcome back to Hold My Popcorn. I'm Max Sealy in Nashville, and over in Boston, we got Tim Begin. How are you, Timmy?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not stuck on 95 in Virginia like those frickin' like Tim Kaine, that fucking dipshit moron. And so I'm good.
Good.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. And then we got Johnny Safari out in Baltimore, Maryland. How are you, John?
I'm good. I'm studying the local wildlife in the back right now. I like to call it the Rat Olympics. And they're doing a full number now where they do the little wheels. They hold onto each other's cute little paws and a little hamster wheel around the back. And usually you'll see one that'll, and I'm not joking, will actually take a dive off the tree into the trash can, like straight out of a cartoon.
Ooh.
Gotta love Baltimore.
Haven't seen that yet. So, the Rattus species, I'll have more updates for that in subsequent episodes.
You should just,
I'm fine, Max.
You should set up like a little like rat circus outside or something. Just really fuck with your cat.
I want to breed them and like make them really large.
I don't think you have
they
to breed
terrorize the neighborhood. No, I know, but like I want to like selective breeding. You know, I'm going to make ones. I'm going to start a breeding program for Hogwarts.
Nazi rats.
Oh, Nazi rats. Yeah.
Once we are the superior rats.
Oh, I'm sure. Dude, are you kidding me? I'm sure Nazis like thought, oh, we're going to create like some super rat that has the plague and we're going to just unleash him.
But it has to be an albino rat.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny enough, I think that somebody in
eyes.
World War II did try dropping bubonic plague fleas and or rats onto a city at some point. Not sure which side. Wouldn't be surprised if we tried it too. But
Either side would, wouldn't surprise me either.
and honestly, like how hardcore is a rat? Where you like, oh, I can drop it out of a plane and it'll make it. Like all plucked right out of New York City's sewers.
It turns into a flying squirrel. It's like, what the fuck? I didn't know they had wings. All right, well, this week we watched the hijacking 1990s thriller Executive Decision, starring Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, Steven Seagal, John Leguizamo, and a bunch of character actors from the 90s. So, gentlemen, before we get into it, any immediate thoughts?
Halle Berry. Ooh.
Halle Berry.
I had no idea that she was in this, and I was pleased as punch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Cutie.
my gosh.
Two thoughts. One, Halle Berry, not like quite the role that I thought she was going to be in. Two, just the amount of time between like initial setup of a premise and the payoff of the premise in the movie was so crazy to me. Cause like there's so many things that they set up at the beginning of the movie that I'm just like, this is kind of a longer movie than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm,
And then,
me too.
and, like at the end of the movie, they got paid off and I'm just like, oh yeah. Well, I guess that was at the beginning of the movie, you know?
Yep.
And Halle Berry was one of them, where it's just like, oh, you mean 3/4 of the movie? She's not even ever on screen. So
I will also put forth that I think that she was the only decent actor/actress like in this entire one, like actually like acted her heart out.
Really?
And of course, Kurt Russell's great. Yeah, no, she's solid gold. She's good at being like in these super tense ass fucking situations and always looking exactly like what we'd be, except still cool as a cucumber, relatively speaking.
I mean, I'll say Kurt Russell is always good.
Kurt Russell's just such a pro. That's why like, I was born acting as an actor.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's why it's like, no, he didn't do bad, but I just think that she did the best. A lot better than fucking Steven Seagal.
Dude, well, you say that. This is probably the best acting that Steven Seagal has ever done. Like that boardroom scene, I was watching that, I'm like, he's actually not bad in this scene, which is weird to say. Like, and he's also likable, which he's never likable.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about Seagal. You got to grade him on a curve, a very big curve.
Yeah. He would have been better off sticking to supporting roles, but his ego would never allow that. He's like, no, I just want to do direct-to-video and just completely just Me Too myself out of Hollywood. I'll go hang out.
Well, and also, not to steal your thunder, but like, yeah, in the first scene where, of course, there has to be a scene with Steven Seagal knifing 3 guys to death. So, it's like, all right, it's Steve. So get it.
Okay, so before we get into it, though, this is what I kind of found amusing is that this was directed by Stuart Bard, who, if you don't know him, he he's kind of known as like a legendary movie editor, like fixer that studios would hire whenever their movie was just like going to total shit and they needed somebody to just fix it and make it a functional movie. So like he cleaned up the first Superman movie, The Omen, which was like a total shit show. Like people were fucking dying on set in that movie.
How do you fix that? Anyway,
it's actually kind of easy. You just stop people from dying.
Yeah, it's really all right. So we're going to take all the drugs away from the entire cast. Step one.
Die Hard 2, Demolition Man, Mission Impossible 2, and then he also did all the Lethal Weapon movies too. He edited all those, and then
great editor.
But then in his directorial debut, he makes a movie that's 2 hours and 12 minutes long that should have been cut by like 30 minutes.
Easily.
Dude, the end of that movie, I'm like, that. You
going back in the air. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah.
Fucking land.
Could have ended that 8 times.
Oh, God. Loved it. All right, let's get into it. We get way too much information up front with this like matrix green text scroll with like sound effects that are like 10 decibels louder than like any explosion in the movie.
Oh my God,
dude! I watched this. I tried to watch this movie 3 weeks ago. I turned it off within the first like minute and a half because of the scrolling text thing. Like I couldn't. It was so fucking loud and annoying. I just turned the whole fucking movie off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to blow my freaking laptop speakers off, dude. I mean, it sounded this distorted too. It was like it was.
Yeah.
The sort of text at the beginning, doing a lot of heavy lifting in the plot of this movie
for no reason.
Yeah, no.
And also like stating the obvious after the Black Ops mission fails that we'll talk about in a minute, where it's like mission failure. Like,
no
guys,
shit.
we know, like we get it.
Oh, dude, like this whole first scene, throw it in the trash can, not needed. Like you don't need this in the movie.
Although it is, you don't need it in the movie. It's a completely different movie from what we're about to watch. It's a Steven. Right. It's just Under Siege, like, but
yeah. But
it is still fucking awesome. So, like, the listeners at home, stick through it because it is enjoyable. Because also, hell of a crew too. I mean, we've got Hollywood from Top Gun, John Leguizamo, Joe Morton, who plays the guy who created the Terminator and T2. And then we got Timmy's boy, BD Wong, as well. Or
oh my God.
DB Wong is right. Yeah.
BD Wong.
BD.
It is BD.
Yeah,
it
is BD.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck that up.
I kept saying
times.
DB too.
Yeah. Just think of it as Bill Dooley Wong, and then you'll get it. That's what I did.
Bill Dooley's Wong.
He's you know, him and Bill, they're both lookers too. So, yeah that's not fair.
I mean, equally, honestly, if Bill had a flat top, I'll tell you what, he would rival BD Wong.
BD's the most handsome looking guy in this movie.
Exactly.
He steals it. I mean, he looks prettier than Halle Berry.
He does. He looks great. That flat top.
Oh, boy.
Looking good. Anyway, so we open up with the fat sensei himself, Steven Seagal, as a leader of this team, who literally kills 3 people in the first 5 seconds when he slits a dude's throat, then he stabs another guy in the head, and then another dude in the neck.
And, like, doesn't even do it well enough because, like, one of the guys has plenty of time to scream and he decides not to scream. He's like, he goes, and then I'm going to run away, and then doesn't get away because apparently Steven Seagal is, like, the fastest guy within, like, a foot of you.
Just his flappy arms as he runs.
Steven Seagal is the least athletic person he's like the least athletic person who's, like, ever been labeled an action hero. He is so uncoordinated, it's not even funny.
It's like a drunk blind man is more coordinated than Seagal.
Mm-hmm.
You have an entire, like, you know, SEAL Team 6, like, you know, Navy SEAL squad with mics and silencers on. Like, I've played SOCOM before. Like, you can set up, like, okay, on 3, shot, boom, done. Like, there's no reason to go in there. I'm just going to go in there with this flashy-ass knife. And then I'm going to tell everybody else, it's okay. Now you can come. Like,
but, yeah. They do the stealth, and then they're like, all right, switch the guns to rocket launchers. And then they just, like, fucking go and explode through the house.
I know.
So what was the point of all the fucking quietness beforehand?
And the shittiest silencers, too. The silencers, like, dude, I could hear that 3 blocks away. Like, but whatever. Yeah, there
Make
we
as
go.
much noise as possible.
We need to establish that Steven Seagal is clearly going to be the one who saves the day in this entire movie. He's totally going to be in the rest of the movie.
That's what he thought. Apparently.
Oh, I can't wait to hear
what
you found. I can't wait.
Yeah, but basically it's a little setup as this special ops team failing to retrieve a stolen Soviet chemical weapon. Whatever, who cares? All right. Then we're introduced to U.S. Army intelligence consultant. This is all in the scrolling text, by the way. Dr. David Grant, played by Kurt Russell, who's learning to fly a plane, which I'm sure will not come back later. But once he does land the plane, his think tank coworker tells Russell that the world's most dangerous terrorist, played by the one-armed killer from The Fugitive, has been captured at his daughter's wedding, which then causes Kurt Russell to go into some sort of like colorblind seizure, because then we cut to this like comedic, choppy, slow motion flashback of the extraction that includes a priest firing a rocket launcher.
Oh, dude.
And like most people down with an AK. Go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, these like Orthodox priests who are just running
Two of
around.
them.
Yeah.
Two of them. Yeah.
Also, am I going crazy? This probably is addressed. The guy is Muslim, right?
He's supposed to be, even though he's actually Greek.
And
they're supposed to be in like Algeria.
And his daughter's getting married in an Christian Orthodox church. I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't flat out don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense.
This is how naive I am. I was watching and I had to Google, like, does Islam have priests? Because like that is clearly
they have
a
imams, but
yeah, no, I know. Like I was just like, wait a minute, am I missing something here? Because they're definitely dressed as priests.
They do have an equivalent of priests, Max.
Yes.
They don't dress as though they're fucking members of the Orthodox Christian sect.
I let it go because I thought I was having a seizure. Like when it went like off black and white / kind of Technicolor, I was like, I don't smell burning toast. But in the director's defense, like if you did, like let's say it was Baghdad, let's say it's somewhere in Algeria, let's say it's in Iran, whatever. Like if an Orthodox priest is walking down the street, like I don't think anyone's gonna fuck with him. Like I don't know, let him go. I don't know what to do with this. And later for extracurricular activities, look up pictures of Orthodox priests blessing AK-47s and like practice firing giant rifles and RPGs. They're out there. It's the funniest shit you've ever seen.
Machine gun preacher. All right, so then we cut to the airplane where most of the action will take place as we're introduced to the flight attendants played by Halle Berry and Mary Ellen Trainor, who might be better known as the mom from the Goonies and Monster Squad, or better yet for Timmy, the progressively manic psychologist from the Lethal Weapon movies.
Exactly.
Is that really her?
That's who she is. Yeah. Dude, she dominated the 80s and 90s action movies. She's in both Die Hard and the Lethal Weapon movies.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so Max, let's just be clear about this. This is the first 15 minutes of the movie. They were in they were in Algeria, they were in Italy, then they were in Cyprus, then they were in London, then they were in fucking,
DC.
Washington, D.C.
Greece.
Back to
Athens.
Greece. Back to London. Like, they were in 20 different places in the first 15 minutes of this movie. And then the rest of the movie's on a fucking plane.
Yep. It's like they ran out of the budget.
For 2 hours.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah. They also like clearly could, compress content. They knew how to do that, especially with like the seizure film with the Orthodox priests and the rocket launchers, but then they still drew it out for 2 hours. So
well, the thing that's funny too is that Paramount traded the script for Forrest Gump for this movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Or is the other way around? I forget. But they traded Forrest Gump for this movie because this was like a hot script. And like, I just watched the movies that made us on Forrest Gump. And apparently the script for that movie is like total garbage. And it was just like in a bin for like years. Like it's, the skeleton of the story's still there, but like all the other stuff in the Forrest Gump story is just not that good. So I kind of understand that a little bit more, but still. But the moment that you see the doctor from Lethal Weapon talk about her getting married, you know that she's going to die. I just did not expect her to die that quickly because she does within like the next 45 seconds later, just boom, dead.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she just got knocked out until they find her. And I was like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Guess she can only film for a day.
She got to get back to the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. And then also, so the other, the other blonde flight attendant in this movie that didn't say anything, that's Marla Maples, Trump, who was married to Trump at the time.
Oh my God.
Yep. She was Trump's mistress that, once he married Ivana and then he, got divorced and married her. And then she got caught fucking one of his bodyguards. So then they got divorced.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where the divorce came from. Okay, great.
Yep. So, terrorists, they take control of the plane with the head of this crew named Eltar, demanding the release of the one-armed guy from The Fugitive. And also on this plane is a popular U.S. senator, as well as a frumpy, unsuspecting air marshal who hides his gun and badge in his seat, which will come back later as well.
This guy, like, what the fuck else has he been in?
Office Space.
Yep,
Office
exactly.
Space. Okay,
Yep.
Office Space. He's the one who
It's
gets
a
hit
jump.
by the car, right?
I work with the
To
goddamn
conclude-
customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people
that-
skills. What is wrong with you people?
This guy would be the best, like, cop eating a donut.
Oh,
like, for
God,
any
yeah.
extra in any movie. Like,
Chief
it's
Wiggum.
that guy.
Just
I'm just going to eat this donut. I don't care if the bank robbers ran by. I'm not catching them.
spilling coffee on his tie. Yeah. All right, then we cut to Washington. Yeah, so we're still bouncing around here with Kurt Russell stealing 2 glasses of champagne at a Black Tux event and trying to fuck a blonde with free hockey tickets when he gets called to the Pentagon, where he says that Altar is ancient Arabic for revenge and his real name is Hassan, and he believes that Hassan purposely wanted his boss to get captured, and they can't let the plane make it into U.S. soil because he has that stolen Soviet weapon, and he will use it.
It's just so intertwined. It's like, okay, so now we have to believe, like, we have to now understand that these Chechen people stole this fucking nerve gas and this fucking Algerian dude knew about it and now he got it and now he's hijacked the plane. I'm like, there's just so much shit going on. It doesn't make any sense, but it's a fun ride. I mean, it's a fun ride. Like, what are you going to do?
I just, he's a contractor. Like, he's private sector think tank. Like, who shows up to like a meeting of the Joint Chiefs of Staff with a 747 with 400 people on board, flying towards the United States, still in a tuxedo. Like, and everyone's still taking him seriously. Except, of course, for Steven Seagal.
Nobody's taking him seriously. They wouldn't even let him into the room. Remember? Like, they all scoff at him and he, like, has to throw his badge and then he starts talking and they interrupt him. Like,
yeah, there's
they weren't respecting him until he actually started speaking up.
Oh, yeah, about the nerve gas. Let me explain with this glass of water. It's like, oh, this is going to be a good one. That always gets
I just saw this in Die Hard 3 last year with the shoe.
I was kind of like when the whole Kurt Russell was like, who's in charge of counterterrorism? They're like, Colonel so-and-so, like Steven Seagal. And he was like,
oh, fuck.
Oh. I was like, oh, Kurt Russell definitely like, banged Steven Seagal's wife. You know what I mean? I was like, there has to be some like deep rift between these two for them to like hate each other so much. And it's just like, no, this guy gave him bad intel. It's like, oh, that doesn't explain this, like this panic
to which
Kurt Russell's in.
To which Kurt Russell's like, I didn't give you bad intel. You were late. It's like, oh,
yeah. We're going to measure our dicks.
But this little combo kind of reminds me of when like Law and Order and NYPD Blue would have like those joint episodes. It's just like the Steven Seagal movies meeting with the Kurt Russell like thriller movie in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, looks like we're going to team up, but I don't like you. But I don't like you either.
You use your brain. You don't know when to sit down and use your brain. Maybe we can use our brains together.
So Seagal then convinces everyone that his team can take control of the plane with an experimental mid-air insertion with the help of an engineer that he knows, played by Oliver Platt, with the kicker that Kurt Russell has to go with them as punishment for being the brain behind the failed mission in the cold open.
I just like how they're so agreeable to this. They're just like, it's literally like Dumb and Dumber where they're like, pick them up. Who's the next unqualified person to go on this special ops mission? Pick them up.
Make sure you bring the janitor with you on the way out.
They would be like, everyone in the room would be like, no, you're not just going to bring these random people along because you feel like it.
Yeah. Also, right after this, they're like, all right, guys, need to like get rid of half of our equipment to make weight. It's like, just get rid of fucking Oliver Platt and you guys will be fine.
Right, exactly.
He did take up about an eighth of the actual mass that plane needed to fucking take off.
It's a big boy.
But I really like the plane though when they're discussing it, the remora, because that's the fish. So like, Tim, if you and I were going to be fish, this is exactly what we would be, because all it does is just suction cup onto a big ass shark. It takes little bites out of the food that the shark eats, and the shark does all the swimming. It doesn't have to move.
Yeah.
It just hangs out. It's like
a bottom feeder.
It's like a welfare fish, you know what I mean? Just feeding up my tax money.
Socialist plane is what it is. Built with what? Taxpayer money. Okay.
Taxpayer
All right.
money.
So,
Trump 2024.
So, Tim, I know you're an engineer. So, what are your thoughts behind this like air linking sleeve machine? As your eyes buck out of your head.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably
Looks good to me.
probably not going to work. If I had to put money on it, if you asked me, said it's going to work or not, I'd be like, no, it's not going to work.
They cut to Tim, who's the expert that's in the room, and he just has a bunch of like potato chips on his face. He's like, "What? Oh no, it looks good to me.
Yeah,
It's all good.
Checks out."
is this going to work? I'll tell you what. For the money you paid me, it better. I walk out of the room and be like, that ain't going to work.
I got to start applying to new jobs.
Yeah. Maybe I should have started thinking about this before yesterday.
You know, it is kind of a shoddy idea, though, when they're like, yeah, we tried giving it to NASA. They took a look at it and they said we didn't want to use it. It's like,
Let's put the best in the biz up there.
I mean, I guess it's one of those things that, like, from a first principle standpoint, you can go, okay, I understand it. But, like, once you start introducing, like, reality to it, you're like, no. Like, what happens when the bottom plane just, like, moves up a little because it's smaller and it's going to be affected by, like, wind currents a little bit more?
Yeah, headwind. He's not going to get any of the fucking headwind from that huge 747.
Yeah, no, it's just going to fucking fly up through the bottom of it. And it's gonna fling that dead stewardess's body at the top. You know what I mean?
Also, I'm pretty sure like the control panel in the cockpit would like start beeping if like one of the doors at the bottom of the plane opened up.
Yeah.
Oh no, it does.
It did.
Yeah,
It
fuck,
does.
that's
It
right.
does.
I didn't write any of that shit down. Yeah, it does. And then they have that little like a piece of gum basically to stick on it for like, oh no, it's fine.
Right.
yeah. No,
Right.
they have the little piece of plastic they put inside of a pizza box to keep it from
Paperclip.
getting soggy. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is, a clip. And then, of course, like, it's so fallible, someone just knocks it out. They're like, oh, whoops.
Yep.
Terrorists know now. But the whole umbilical cord thing, it's basically just a slinky with, like, black electrical tape around
Yeah,
it. Like, yeah, of course, it's
It is
not
a
going to
slinky.
make it.
I mean, you can't. They have to pull like a what was it like it's like 80 psi worth of a vacuum. I mean, how are you gonna get that seal on that little rubber condom up there? You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't think you are. And then also, where are you hiding this compressor? Where are you hiding this pump, this air pump that, you know, on this stealth bomber? I don't think they make them. So like, oh, hey, you know, put some space in the back of that in case some guys want to put a fucking, compressor pump in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, logic is not the strongest suit of this movie.
No, but to be honest, like I suspend when I'm watching movies, I try not to be like, that doesn't make any sense. I hate the people who are like watching Interstellar and be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Dipshit.
Yeah.
Just
Matthew
watch
McConaughey
it
is
and
also
enjoy
an
it.
astronaut. That doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
Does he say anything about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, none of it's going to make sense.
No.
Real life is boring.
So, all right, let's get into the docking scene, though. So, the special ops crew, they begin to board the plane, but then they hit some big turbulence with John Martin, who's Cappy. He breaks his neck, so Kurt Russell climbs up to help with Seagal right behind him. But then they quickly gain altitude, and the entire plane's about to decompress, with Russell saying, we're not going to make it. And then Seagal says, you are, as he closes the hatch, which then breaks apart as we see a CGI Seagal go flying out of this plane like a rag doll.
So can I tell you what I was thinking about at the beginning when they got on the plane? I thought to myself, this is what's going to happen. Kurt Russell's going to end up on the plane. Steven Seagal is going to end up in the other plane, and he's going to have to like tell Kurt Russell how to be a fucking ninja, right?
Yeah.
I was not expecting
Him to go flying off the plane.
Steven Seagal to just go flying out of the plane, and then 30 minutes into the movie, him to just be
Dead.
never, ever, ever brought up again.
Dude, what a awesome, like, just secret that people don't know about this, like the scene of this movie. Like, why is this not a more popular scene? Like, the movie made $150 million. Like, it's Steven Seagal. No one ever talks about him, just his little CGI rag body just going flying out.
Unless Seagal is the only real he's not even A-list, but like, you know, let's just say A-list actor in the movie, that's how much like he's not consequential. Like that's
Yeah.
that's what it speaks to. Everyone's like, oh, that sucks. All right, back on to Kurt Russell. Great.
This was his heyday, though. This is when like Seagal was at his biggest, like 96.
So he really put butts in seats. I just find it
Yeah.
so funny because like even as a kid, like watching any of those movies, I was like, this guy's kind of poopy.
Yeah, he's
on the cover with Kurt Russell. Like him and Kurt Russell are, top
Yeah.
bills.
the foreign covers. He is. They took him off in the U.S. and then they added him to the foreign markets to get more because Seagal like did well overseas. Him
Right.
and Van Damme were the big sellers.
So, what was the whole thing here, Max? Why did?
Okay, so
Yeah, how was this
originally his head was going to explode due to the decompressor, but he
That's not
refused to
true.
do it. Saying his fans wouldn't like that, so he refused to do that. He needed to be more heroic. And then also apparently he read the script and suggested that his character doesn't die and he saves the day.
There you go.
And they're like, that's not in the script, Steven. You have to die. You signed up for the movie to die in the first 30 minutes. That's what's happening. He's like, well, then I
Did
don't
you
want my head
not
to
read
explode.
the script? Did you not read the script?
Are you kidding me? Do you
Clearly
think Steven Seagal
fucking
can
not.
even read?
don't think he can
That's a real question.
Yeah. I read it at my dojo the other day, and I think that I need to be the hero of this movie.
I gotta be
Like-
honest. I'm just shocked that he signed up for a movie where he wasn't going to be the hero.
Yeah, he must have got paid a lot for this movie, or got some kind of deal, some picture deal with Joel Silver or something, who produced
Right.
this.
Maybe some of the gross, like whatever it was.
Something.
But I do love that the director like cast him away, but made sure to show us that the pilot of the stealth bomber like
Yes.
actually got out. It was
Oh,
yeah,
thank
I was
God.
more concerned about the pilot than him. He was like, oh, he's gone. Did the pilot make it? Yeah.
It would have been great if the pilot hit the self-eject and just went crashing straight into the plane.
Dude,
That would have been good.
the thing that really shocks me is that he was never like there was absolutely nothing else. Like the rest of this movie, an hour and a half, nothing about Steven Seagal. Like there wasn't even like, oh, the Colonel left us this tool because
Yeah,
he knew,
nothing.
you
He's
know,
done.
nothing.
No.
See ya.
It was like he
Ceased
might
to
as well
exist.
not even have been in the movie.
Yep. I love it. I fucking love it. All right, so the original plan for this team, which immediately backfires, was to find the weapon, use a sleeper agent to knock everyone out on the plane, then take control of the plane. But instead, only 3 functional special ops make it, which are BD, Wong, Leguizamo, and Hollywood. And then we got a broken-necked Cappy to go along with the 2 civilians of Kurt Russell and Oliver Platt. And they also only have half of their gear, and they don't have the sleeper agent, or they don't have the whatever it is. Hold on, what is it? Yeah, they don't have
sleep gas. and
sleep
shit,
gas,
and, like,
yeah.
the communications equipment, so they can't even let anyone know that they're there.
Yeah. So Leguizamo instead, he just decides to take control of the situation and decides that they're going to use spy cameras and a microphone to ID the terrorists on board while BD Wong searches for the bomb with their plan that they'll be able to disable the bomb and then take down the bad guys.
And also, Oliver Platt immediately tries to give it all away. Like, we're going to negotiate with them. It's going to be fine. And tries to run up the ladder into the cabin. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Immediately freaks the fuck out.
That honestly, as an engineer, that's what pissed me off more. Fucking how you make Oliver Pratt look like a fucking piece of shit this whole time.
Shut up, fat
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Christ.
do get one of those in there, of
Yep.
course.
Yep. This is the part of the movie I think that they could have really trimmed down on. Like, there's a lot of loose fat right here. Like, we did not need to see BD Wong search like every single luggage. We didn't. And then like Leguizamo and the other dude, like they're drilling holes. Like they show every hole being drilled. And then Kurt Russell, they literally show him just doing data entry, being like, okay, 1 bad guy in row 4. Here's a machine gun type. But like, we don't need any of this shit. Just do
No,
it once.
and they literally never show that diagram ever again. He spends like 40 minutes just punching in where they think they are, even though everybody knows these are black ops guys. They have like fucking photographic memories. Like, oh, he's on the door to the left. Got that. I'll know that for the next 60 years until I die.
Yeah.
Like,
I just want to know
Jesus.
who created this computer program, like where you can just take out sections of a plane, like what and like assign people to seats. I'm like, who needed this? And then created it so that the fucking military could use it. It's just ridiculous.
Government bloat, Tim. Government bloat.
I mean, if that's government bloat right there for sure, John. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm. Goddamn Clinton.
No, but I agree, Max. It's like, okay, we've established all the problems, and we've established who's gonna like be the leader, and we've established like a general like plan. We don't need to then see them executing every single millisecond of the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they do. I'm surprised they didn't show the guys like taking a pee break in this movie. Like,
Right.
they show fucking everything. But apparently around this scene, you know when Leguizamo makes that joke about Kurt Russell having like smelly feet? I guess like they got into a fight over that.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, like the A-listers
Russell?
did not like Leguizamo. Like I guess they got into a shoving match over that, and then also like Steven Seagal like shoves Leguizamo into a wall, into like a brick wall, because they were doing rehearsals. I actually like watched the interview segment of it, and they're doing rehearsals, and I guess like Seagal went over to everybody, and he's like, "I'm the expert in all violence and whatever." You know, I forget what
I
fighting.
get exactly
he said something
what you're
basically.
saying,
Yeah, he's just like, I'm the expert in fighting, and we're gonna do it my way. And I guess Leguizamo was like, he thought he was joking, and then Seagal like fucking like did a forearm like shove and like pushed him right into a fucking wall.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Did he have bodyguards like the porn star in Predator just to make sure that he didn't beat up the fucking cast too? Like, this guy sounds like a fucking loose cannon. Like, no wonder the director was like, fuck this guy. We're
Get him
killing
out.
him as soon as we fucking can. Like, get him the fuck out.
yeah.
Like, no.
And he's got like one scene with Kurt Russell in this movie in which they're both on screen at the same time. Like, I think that was
Ugh.
intentional. Yeah,
Oh, they were not going to get along.
no, definitely not.
No.
I like John Leguizamo though, because he's just
Me
like
too.
a dude.
He's fucking great.
Yeah, he's just like
He's
a Puerto
fucking
Rican
great.
dude from the South Bronx. He doesn't give a fuck.
No,
Dude, he's fantastic. He was even good in John Wick. He was good in that shitty Land of the Dead zombie reboot. Like, he's fucking great. Everything
great
he
in
shows
everything.
up in, it's always like, he's fantastic. I
He's
like
great in
it.
everything. The only time he misses is when they try and make him a leading man. Don't make him
Yeah.
a leading man. Just he needs to be a
No.
supporting character.
he's the big fat clown in Spawn. That's Leguizamo.
Oh, he was fucking gold in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. He looks great fat.
in white.
Huh. Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
All right. So, Russell, he's able to ID Hassan in a tense scene where Halle Berry covers for him through this fucking airplane elevator, which I didn't know existed.
Didn't me either.
This airplane, like the size dimensions make no sense whatsoever. This is the biggest, most vast airplane in history.
Yep.
I mean, I've heard of the triple deckers and like the bubble where there's like a third floor, but yeah. I mean, they have standing room like in the attic.
Yeah, plenty of standing room. I mean, they're just crawling over the place.
Jesus. I mean, you know, whatever. I'm not going to get into the details of
No.
why. Like, no one heard them, much less power drilling, you know, through the ceiling and the floor. Like, I get it, an airplane's loud, but whatever.
Through the fucking, through the overhead luggage. Like, you would definitely hear people talking above you. They'd be like, dude, is there somebody up here?
Yeah.
Dude, crawling around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes this plane is super choppy and loud. Other times it is like, you're not, like, it's just you're on ground. Like, you forget that you're in an airplane. But, let's see. Yeah. So then, they find the bomb, which has enough juice to wipe out the entire eastern seaboard. And, Cappy, he can't do it on his own due to his broken neck. So Oliver Pratt comes in to help. Successfully dismantle the bomb, but right as the boys brace for a surprise attack, Cappy calls it off, saying that someone has a remote detonator. Then he passes out from the morphine.
I just
Oh,
love
so
this.
that's what it was. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
kind of like
He says that. He's
um,
like, you better hurry up before the morphine kicks in. That's what he says to
Okay. Because
right.
like all of a sudden he's like, morphine.
Why does he need morphine? He's fucking paralyzed. He feels shit.
It's a fucking good point.
He doesn't.
Because
You know,
he
he
needs to
doesn't
pass out.
yeah, he doesn't need. Yeah, he needs morphine for another reason. He's like Greg House. You know what I mean from House. But I love these movies where they're like, this bomb isn't big enough to wipe out the eastern seaboard. It's like no bomb is. No bomb's big enough to do that. I'm sorry.
No.
It's just not. Like, do
No.
you realize how big the eastern fucking seaboard is?
Pretty big.
Also, like, nerve agents, nerve gases don't fucking work like that. It doesn't just it gets dispersed in the air. It gets caught in air circulation. It goes back up into the atmosphere. It doesn't.
That's why they have the explosives attached to it.
Oh, to give it extra oomph.
Yeah, a little extra juice on the stem there. Yeah.
I just.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's fine. It's all filler. It's just bad guys have a big bad thing.
And like I bitch about it, and I was still anxious when they were fucking with this bomb. Like I was still like, okay, I mean, it's
the bomb shit's fucking intense. They do a good job. They do a good job of suspense in this. It's a really corny, stupid movie.
It's one of these movies you just don't. I mean, you don't do exactly what we're doing right now. You don't read into any of it. Why would you?
No,
it's not. It's not meant to. It's just meant to be entertaining. It's like a roller coaster, right? It's cheap. Yep. It's cheap fun, cheap thrills, and just enjoy it.
This is a perfect afternoon movie on TV. Like a perfect filler, time waste. You got nothing else to do. Sit on the couch, hungover, watch it.
Back when the old Timster was hitting the bottle hard, this was like a Saturday at 11 o'clock. I'm incapacitated, hungover on the couch. This is the movie you put on.
Yep.
You know,
Tim, don't lie to me. You're watching the Lethal Weapon series when you were on the couch hungover.
Of course I am. How do you think I like those so much? Why do you think I like those so much? Because I was so hungover so often that the only thing that would soothe me is Martin Riggs and Danny Glover's cop buddy Bond.
Murta. All right, so meanwhile, the one-armed man, he's not actually a one-armed man, but I don't know his fucking name in this. So he's on a private jet to freedom, and he calls off the attack, but Hassan refuses, saying he's going to deliver a death blow to the U.S. So the Secretary of Defense prepares for an airstrike, saying, call the president. It's an executive decision now.
But then the president's like out of town. Apparently can't be reached. What is that?
He doesn't give a shit.
He's going to blowjob on Epstein's Island. That's what's really happening. He's on the Lolita Express. Oh, thank God they didn't hijack that one.
You don't get to see the president once. You don't get to hear from the president once. Like, a senator's on the phone about to get shot in the face, and they're still like, no, we can't put him on. Sorry. It's like, what are you pass blocking for? What is he?
He's just like on Air Force One, like, oh, tell him who is it? Oh, tell him I'm busy.
Well, it's a senator, Democrat, or Republican.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a Republican? No, tell him I'm busy.
Hey, Prince Andrew, take a picture of this.
hey, Andy, I know you can't sweat. Come over here. Oh, Christ. So back on the plane, Kurt Russell overhears the second in command getting killed by Hassan after he calls him out for not sticking to the original plan to fly to Algeria, which means that the other bad guys don't know about the bomb for some reason. So there must be a sleeper agent on the plane with his hand on the trigger. And even if they kill all the bad guys, the sleeper agent can still set off the bomb. And there's not enough time to check all 400 passengers on board, and they're going to need some help. So Kurt calls on their MVP flight attendant, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Day. MVP.
Who up until this point has been on the screen like once for 20 seconds.
Yep.
She was like in the beginning of the movie set it up to be a key, pivotal character. Someone who's going to drive a lot of the plot. Cutscene, 45 minutes later, she's just like, she sees Kurt Russell. She's like, gives him a thumbs up. That's the next time. And now she comes back. Like, this is ridiculous. You see, like, this whole setup. They made like a huge deal about her going down to the galley to get food, and then that paid off nowhere. Like, it didn't matter.
Yeah, it just went. All she did was find her dead friend.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's literally it. It's just to show that, like, you could have just had the terrorists just snap that girl's neck instead, and then we would all know that she was dead and not even have that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
It's fine. Halle Berry pulling it together, dude. Just fucking Black Ops. Like, all of a sudden, she's also like 007.
Yeah. She also gets a fucking David Justice crow up smack to the face, too, in this scene from Hassan.
It shouldn't have been Halle Berry. It should have been J-Lo.
Should have been Trump's wife getting a smack in the face. Sorry, go ahead.
It just had to get that in there.
It should have been J-Lo, and then every time she did something, she'd be like, "I'm from the streets. You don't think I know how to do this? I'm Jenny from the block."
Like 9-inch heels.
Yeah.
Clear heels.
You don't think I know how to be stealthy? As she walks in, like, Hey, terrorists!
No, they couldn't have her in the movie because her ass literally couldn't fit between the aisles.
Yeah, exactly.
She'd turn around just like, just smacking people.
I will say, so Nagi, like the main bad guy who just like shot one of his own dudes and then just like pimp smacks Halle Berry. He was the most intimidating bald man I think I've seen on screen in a long time. I mean, like he actually was. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm scared of this guy.
He's great in this.
Big way.
I thought he did a really good job. Yeah, because he also does a really good job of like being soft spoken and like very like articulate and just. He's got that nice British accent. He seems like a smart dude.
He's a great villain.
And then out of nowhere, he'll just like kill somebody.
Yeah, he's a great villain.
He would have been a good Die Hard villain.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Hans Gruber.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's actually really a terrorist. The funny thing, too, is that, Kurt Russell keeps on bringing up hockey in this movie. He's in the movie Miracle. He's the U.S. Olympic doctor.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's a coach.
I thought he was a doctor.
No, he's a coach in that.
So I thought Kurt Russell was the coach.
Yeah, well, Kurt Russell is Herb, the coach. I'm talking about the villain, Tim.
Oh.
The villain is the team physician.
No, I still maintain he's the coach.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Hassan's the coach of the U.S. hockey team.
As Tim channels Donald Trump here. Wrong.
I'm gonna get a rally going to challenge your opinions, and they are going to insurrect you. They're going to insurrect your houses.
Today is the day to do it.
Mm-hmm.
For the listeners at home, originally both Tim and John wanted us to do Independence Day, and we had planned on recording on January 6th. I'm like, sounds about right. Let's do Independence Day on January 6th.
It'll be great.
Yeah, cool.
It'll be great. I maintain that the aliens would have won if Trump was president. That would have been a fun thing to watch.
You just would have said they weren't real.
Yeah, you would have just denied them.
Yeah,
swamp gas.
Believe me, by Easter, they'll be gone. Oh, these aliens, they'll be gone by Easter.
Operation, what was his operation?
Warp speed.
Operation Warp Speed. They'll be warp speed back to space.
Back to the shithole space where they come from.
Yep.
So,
anyways,
the president, he makes his executive decision to shoot the plane down, and they're 15 minutes outside of U.S. airspace when Halle Berry IDs the sleeper agent next to the diabetes lady, who we have not mentioned yet.
Yeah, who's also in everything, just
I'm
that
sorry,
person.
I have diabetes.
I'm Wilford Brimley's wife.
If I don't get my medicine soon, they're going to cut my leg off.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Cappy and Oliver Platt learn that the bomb setup is a decoy.
Oh my
A
God,
lot of
I know.
bomb
I love
tension.
the fake bomb.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And then you got the guy who's paralyzed on the ground like, I fucked up. I fucked up. Dude, calm down. You're going to break another fucking part of your spine. Like, chill.
What's that Denzel Washington movie where he's like a paralyzed detective? The Bone Collector.
Bone Collector, yeah.
Yeah. This is like the Air Force One's meets Bone Collector with Cappy, where he's just like paralyzed and he's like,
Well, in Terminator 2, he's so good in that one scene when he has the detonator in his hand when he gets shot up and he's like, I can't hold it much longer. And he's just like, about to die. They're like, good, just do that the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
He can sweat like I have never seen too in both Terminator 2 and this, just covered in a sheen.
Yes.
It's amazing. You could shave using him as a mirror. It's amazing.
They just have a mist
Both
machine on
movies.
him constantly. It's getting soaked. This is one of the sweatiest movies I've ever seen. By the third act, everyone is just fucking drenched in sweat. Like it turns into like the movie Airplane when he's trying to land the plane. It's just like a waterfall of water coming down his face. Like that's what they look like at the end of this movie.
I know.
Basically, I feel like they just watched Die Hard with a Vengeance from the year prior, and there's like, yeah, all that bomb tension, just do that for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
be great. We'll make
and then when you think this is a good ending point, don't. Just don't.
Just don't.
All right, so then as the fighter jets approach the plane, Hassan calls in the U.S. Senator who offered to be a negotiator earlier in the movie to boost his political career. But instead, Hassan just blows his brains out to use him as an example.
That was
gets
very
shot real
satisfying.
quick.
Yep.
That was so satisfying just to see the shithead politician. And of course, like when he first starts talking to the terrorist too, he's like, and then the terrorist is like, blah, 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 like says some shit. And he's like, oh, well, that didn't work. Goes back and just bitches at his staffer. Like, you fucked this up. Look what you made me do now.
Typical. Yelling at the intern.
Fucking politician. Yeah.
It's all your fault.
Oh, dude. He's like, I mean, honestly, who's the guy from Die Hard?
Which one?
The cokehead.
Oh.
Who walks in.
Fuck. I know you're talking. Oh, God damn. What is his name?
Wallace or something, you know? It's not Wallace.
Fucking no. God damn, I forget his name. We all know. Hans Booby. That guy.
Hans Booby. I negotiate $1 million deals for breakfast.
Yeah. Got something on your nose.
Yeah, got something on your nose.
That's who the senator was. This honestly is, I mean, just take all the tropes, the action movie tropes from all the movies, put it in here. That's what it is.
It's produced by the guy who produced Die Hard and the Lethal Weapon movies, so no surprise. And Demolition Man. Yeah. No surprise.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only thing we're missing is Nick Cage with a long haircut with it blowing in the wind. Like, that's it.
That in a jaded like police sergeant who's just bitching about the mayor being on his ass. That is the only thing we're missing in this movie. Or the guy in like the control center being like, the control center made it's gonna be on my ass. We gotta divert these other planes.
Dennis Franz, what are you doing here?
Also, the senator, he's played by J.T. Walsh, who was always like a great villain.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, he died in the 90s. He died way too young, but he was like he's great. I love that guy. He's just such a hateable face.
What else was he in?
He's been in a bunch of shit. He was in another movie with Kurt Russell the next year called Breakdown.
Yeah, he was.
Let's look him up right now. Let's do it. J.T. Walsh.
J.T. Walsh. Ooh, his picture on IMDb is not flattering. He looks like he just walked out of a strip club.
Well, he probably did.
His Wikipedia picture is much better, but yeah, that one's not good.
Oh, God, A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth.
Yes.
Never saw that. I remember the rodeo burger from Burger King, though.
Yeah, Sling Blade, Nixon, Outbreak.
Home Negotiator.
Yeah,
okay.
The Client, Blue Chips.
Shit, he even showed up on the X-Files at some point.
He was in a lot of TV, too.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
okay.
I like that guy.
Okay.
All right, so then right before they shoot down the plane, they see that Walsh or Hollywood, that guy, he's hot-wired a Morse code via brake lights, giving the good guys an extra 10 minutes.
My God.
Yep.
And that scene took about 20 minutes, actually, where the fighter pilots are talking to everyone in the cockpit. That's 10 minutes right there. And like they're being ignored and they're still trying. And they had to film all of that. And then going back and forth in the sequence of them trying to hotwire the literal brake lights of the airplane to do Morse code.
A few things here is, again, like John pointed out, Max, kind of to your original point, why is it now that we've like the plan has been explained, why do we need to now follow every step of the plan to fruition? It doesn't make any sense. And you know what I mean? And then there's something before where Kurt Russell was saying, again, kind of like as an engineer, where Kurt Russell's like, you're an engineer, use your instincts. I'm like, that's the exact thing you pay an engineer not to do. You pay them to not use their instincts. You pay them to use like math and science to figure out problems. You don't like why would you pay someone to be like, hey, just use your gut, buddy?
Which also fails because he's about to cut he's about to cut the wire, and then what's his name? Cappy just wakes up and goes, whatever you do not cut that wire.
Don't cut that wire.
Fuck.
Good timing for him to wake up, by the way. Jesus.
Right, exactly.
Dude. Morphine moves in mysterious ways.
All right, so then Kurt Russell, he just decides to improvise by holding Halle Berry at gunpoint, just gets right into the main cabin of the plane so he can get to the sleeper agent, but it's not him.
But it's a trap.
I audibly yelled out loud, oh boy.
But also, like, why did we waste $10 of prop money for fake diamonds? Like, oh no, it's a guy who's flying with millions of dollars of diamonds. Like, what?
Stolen those diamonds.
Yeah, just make it racist and call it a day. He's the brown guy.
I'm Gleek. It's close enough. Fuck it.
Yeah, blow him away.
But then Russell, he does ID the real bad guy. And but Hassan, he has a clear shot of Russell. But then the jump to conclusion, Matt, Air Marshal, shoots him before he gets shot himself like 18 times.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
and then the special ops, they hit the lights and they kill most of the bad guys while Kurt and the sleeper agent get into a tussle. That's the only way I could describe what they're doing. They're just getting into like a middle-aged tussle.
Sweating and
no
breathing
punching.
on each other. Yeah.
No punching,
Nope.
no scratching. It's just them kind of just rustling around the ground. Just, sweating over each other. And then, the sleeper agent, he does then hit the launch button. But thankfully, the straw that Oliver Platt had, he's been biting on this whole time is enough to just stop the whole bomb from diffusing, I guess. I don't fucking know. Jams the signal.
That is a very intricate and fallible ignition or detonation like mechanism for a bomb. That those two things need to. I don't fucking whatever. I don't understand.
It's just a switch. It's a switch. It's the same thing that happens when you turn on a light. There's two pieces of metal that come in together and close a circuit. They didn't have to make it like this green nuclear reactor looking thing. It's just two pieces of metal that complete a circuit. That's all it happens.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, sorry. I was using my instincts.
No. I'm just like, it's just like, it looks like, it looks like the center of the fucking, it looks like the center of, the Death Star.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It
Why?
does. Just to jump aside for a quick second, though, I did find it very funny. They're like, okay, we kill the lights. Black Ops shows up with night vision. It's broad daylight, and everyone has the windows open. It's still light inside of the plane. I would have loved they come out. They're like, oh, my God, I can't see anything. With the night vision.
They just start firing into the air, just killing half the passengers. Also, so I'm only halfway through what happens here because there's so much shit happening in like a 2.5 minute span. It's going to take me longer to explain what happened than to actually watch what happens.
It was.
Then another bumbling terrorist, he just shows up, spraying bullets everywhere. He gets shot. He, shoots out a window that then decompressorizes the plane, so it tosses a few passengers out. A couple of the terrorists go out. And then the pilots are somehow able to just regain control of the plane. And then it's just like flying normal again, basically, even though there's a huge fucking hole in the plane.
And everyone starts celebrating, and then they forget, oh, yeah, there's still like the main terrorist around.
Yeah, everyone's celebrating except for us, who then hit pause and see there's still a half an hour left in this movie.
Oh, my God. Dude, when he was coming in for a landing, I paused it, and I'm like, there's got to be 30 seconds left in this movie. And I'm
20
like,
minutes?
20 minutes?
Fuck it up. This movie should have ended half an hour ago. There's 20 minutes left?
Yeah.
That's what you say yourself. What is he going to do? Like, fuck up the landing and have to do it again? Yup.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's add that to the script.
Oh, my God.
This is also at the point when I texted you guys being like, the end of this movie is like, it's a fucking like adrenaline rush. I didn't realize that there was still so much time left in this movie because I didn't hit pause. But all this shit is happening. It is pretty intense and fun. Like, I'm not doing a good job explaining it, but then, right after this, though, and then, it's a close call. And then there's more. So then Hassan, he isn't dead. He goes up, he shoots Leguizamo in the back, and then he fires into the cockpit, killing both pilots before getting shot and killed himself.
So I find it very, very important. Well, actually, just disconcerting that for a very long time, the cockpit, like the cockpit, you could just like punch a hole through the wall to get into it. Like, was it after 9/11 that they decided to make the cockpits like you couldn't break into
because it was too easy to break into,
like anything?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think that's probably like the most important part of the plane? Like, no matter what, like maybe, just maybe, like I don't know, put a couple Kevlar vests into the wall as insulation if you got it. Like, if that's cheap, like do whatever you got to do. But
yeah, they don't have airbags in the front of the cockpit, so might as well have some kind of protection.
More important than Boeing's profits, John? I think not.
Yes, I forget.
It's got to put too much weight on the plane. We're not going to be able to put more people on.
They saved $3 per plane by not making it bulletproof.
You're welcome, shareholders.
Yeah, you're welcome, shareholders. You got an extra 0.0001 cent in your dividend because of that.
Yep. Hopefully you have 10,000 shares like we all do.
Right. And Warren Buffett saying, thank you.
So Russell, he then takes control of the plane and radios for help, but they can't hear him. So, and he can't crash land due to the bomb on board. So Halle Berry rushes in to read him the instruction manual, which we also do get. So we get some instruction manual reading in this movie.
There's that.
But then, in the most Jack Byrne way possible, he misses the runway, and they have to do it all over again.
Dude, this whole thing, because this again, like my thing about the callbacks or like the things paying off. I'm just like, I remember saying to myself when he landed the plane at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, oh, he's definitely going to have to like land a plane later in this. And then I totally forgot about that because it happened 8 days ago. And
Same, I completely forgot he doesn't fly a plane.
And then at the end, I'm like, wait, he flies? I'm like, oh, yeah, he does fly, doesn't he? Yeah. That happened. That seemed to have happened, in a past life. But yeah,
I also love when he gets into the cockpit and he's like, "Okay, I can do this." And he's like, "An airplane's an airplane." He like looks down and there's like literally 1,000 buttons. He's like,
and half of them are shot out with bullet holes.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Oh, the screens are gone."
And then there's so many beeping sounds going on in this scene too. That airplane is just beep beep boop boop. It's like so many noises. And I also love the firefighters that are on the ground watching all this. One of the guys just goes, "What the hell?" And then the other dude goes, "Oh, he's way too high." Just like judging flying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're fucked. That's great.
And then there's like the Force moment where Halle Berry's like, "Just fly the plane," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right, Yoda. Let's just fly the plane."
Close his eyes. Let's go on the controls. Like, what are you doing?
Like, oh shit! Sorry, I thought. I took that a different way. Too literal.
The ass is kicking in. I think Obi-Wan's behind me.
I was a runner-up for Han Solo. You know that, right? Yeah, Kurt, you told me that already. Okay, all right.
Even in that movie, doesn't believe in the Force, Kurt.
So then we get a call back from the beginning of the movie, and Kurt knows where the other landing field is. It's right next to the baseball field. It's right next to the baseball field, guys. Yeah. So he lands it, running over everything in sight, including 20 miniature private jets.
I was going to say they destroyed a lot of model planes in that scene.
So many little 5-foot tall planes getting destroyed in the scene. But he's eventually able to stop the plane in a sandbank, with him saying, "Thing practically lands themselves, don't they?"
There you go, Kurt.
Yaka.
Pay the big butts for it, buddy.
You should have said it's all in the reflexes. That would have been so much better.
Or like,
that Jack Byrne will come back.
All
the reflexes.
Yeah. I mean, if you were going to make this a real action movie, that's when the Bound Chicka Wow Wow would have started. And it just would have been 15-minute sex scene. You know what I mean?
And then midway through, Hassan would come back because they always need to have the callback of the villain not being dead, and then he'd shoot him like as he's coming into Halle Berry. Never been to Mile High Club, but this will do it. This will suffice. Oh, God. All right, so to wrap up the movie, Kurt gets the salute from the Special Op Boys, and then he gets a grand prize in which he wins a date with Halle Berry. As the movie ends with Kurt Russell asking her if she likes hockey, and she says she only likes baseball because she was married to a baseball player at the time.
She was married to David Justice, right?
She's married to David Justice at the time, yes.
Yep.
Oh, God, I forgot about Justice.
Yep.
Huh. What was he, third base, Yankees at the end?
He was an outfielder.
No, outfielder, fuck.
Oh, he didn't end with the Yankees. He went to the A's.
With the A's is when,
Yeah.
Played a season.
I guess I'm thinking of 98. Yeah. No. It was after 98.
No, he was with the Indians back
Brocious?
then. Scott Brocious. I can tell you exactly who was like the third baseman of any year.
Yeah, Scott Brocious was third baseman back then.
Okay, so it was Brocious.
Brocious was in 98.
Yeah. David Justice had basically all his good years in Cleveland, and the Yankees paid way too much for him.
Yep, as they do.
Yep, and then he went to the A's and had like one more okay year.
Decent year.
Yeah.
With the A's paying for half his contract, as we learned from Moneyball, because he's in the movie Moneyball.
And then he just kind of died.
Yeah. He's good, though.
Well,
pretty solid player. I like David Justice.
Yeah, same.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Time for trivia. I don't have a whole lot here, but so the guy Hollywood in this movie, he was Kurt Russell's brother-in-law back in the 80s when Kurt Russell was married to his sister.
Wait, Kurt Russell?
Yep.
Okay, no.
Before Goldie Hawn. So then,
I get
they
it.
got divorced. And
I get it. I thought you were saying Kurt Russell married his own sister, and I'm like, how is this not bigger news?
Whoa. Yep, I already told the story about the whole thing. Let's see. That's about it. Hold on. I got more details on the whole the pressure cabin thing. Yeah, so like Seagal's head was going to explode. He refused to do the scene, saying his fans wouldn't like it, and then the director insisted he has to do what was scripted. And then Seagal held up filming for a few days out of protest and argued that the scene wasn't realistic. So then finally, after a threat for like a contractual breach, he agreed to do the scene, and then they just re-scripted the death scene. They just changed it up.
Jesus.
To fuck him over.
What a fucking child.
Yeah.
What a fucking child.
Yep. He was also facing like several like sexual assaults and like physical assaults on women at the time. Like this is when he fell off. Is right after this movie.
Honestly, can you imagine what you have to do to get Me Too'd back then?
No shit.
Yeah.
Like the mid 90s? Jesus.
You have to do some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? You have to do some fucked up shit to get Me Too'd back then.
Well, apparently,
and then go like and admit to it, and then tell all your friends and everybody else about it too. Like where they could just under the rug, like, oh no, I did that.
He would do castings in his hotel room for female actors. Yeah,
fucking god.
Yeah,
dude.
that's yep. He's a huge piece of shit. Fuck Steven Seagal.
Can you imagine the dummies that would show up to that, being like, "Oh, this is totally fine."
Yep.
You know,
he probably married two of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Kathy Brock, I'm sure, is like that. Anyway, okay, box office game. How much did this movie cost? How much did it make?
I say it cost about 75, and it made 140.
I think it cost 76, and it made 141.
It cost 55, and it made 122.
Damn it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
John wins.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
Lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
It's not bad.
No. For the 90s?
Yeah, with inflation, too. That's a pretty...
Kurt Russell's always going to... His movies are always going to make money, right?
Moderately, yeah.
Yeah. They'll definitely, yeah. They'll, you know, just a good day at work.
Yeah.
Honest day's work. Yeah.
Yeah, so the movie opened at number 2 on the weekend of March 15th, 1996 to 12 million. Any guess what number 1 was that week?
So this was 96.
Mm-hmm.
So with Jurassic Park? No, what was that?
Men in Black.
93.
2?
Men in Black.
Park 2 was 97. Men in Black is 97. Okay, here's a hint. It stars Nathan Lane and another guy who has done Disney movies.
The Birdcage.
Yeah. The Birdcage.
We just watched that. That was good. That's such a fucking good movie.
We just talked about that too. I was just at the Carlisle Hotel during Thanksgiving. I saw the real Birdcage. Yeah.
We watched that with the family over Christmas. It holds up.
It's a great movie.
Solid.
It's so fucking good. It's still so funny.
I mean, Nathan Lane and Robin Williams.
Except the son is a fucking shithead. But yeah, Nathan Lane was fucking.
Nathan Lane's amazing in that movie. So goddamn good. All right, let's get into questions. Who's your favorite and least favorite?
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
What's really to like? Who's really to like? Honestly, I think the main terrorist is my favorite. He did the best job. He was like the best actor in this whole thing. And
yeah.
Interesting eyes. Do you guys notice his eyes? How like the lower part of his yeah.
I think it's contacts.
Is it contacts?
I think it's contacts. I think it's just contacts. Like
From the
now
90s?
they're like, 20 years and like contact tech is like come huge where like you can leave them in.
Yeah.
But I think they were contacts.
Okay.
They were blue underneath.
Yeah.
It's like that sliver under each eye was just too perfect.
Yeah, it was interesting. I couldn't stop looking at his eyes. I'm like, what the fuck's up with his eyes?
You do get a fucking close up to just sit there because, like, just like this movie, there's like a 5-minute long scene where you're just staring directly into his eyes that are like 6 inches from the camera.
They do a lot of that. They do a lot of just like close pan up shots. They'll have like an exterior shot and then they'll just like zoom in real close on somebody in the next shot because this director is an editor and he just wanted to show off. Just have a billion fucking cuts in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite.
I think my least favorite is the absentee president. Like, where are you? Why are you not there? I don't understand. Like, that whole premise to me, terrible. That's my least favorite.
No. No, that's what the Situation Room is for. We've had that since the 90s. We know we've had that since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's been in every single action movie, so how is it not real?
That must have been a dig against Clinton. It had to have been. Like,
it's re-election year.
Yeah. Fuck this guy.
Bob Dole's getting it. Fuck him.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole would pick up the phone.
Oh my God. My favorite's BD Wong because he just did his fucking job.
He did do his job.
And looked beautiful doing it the whole time. So he was just fucking great. I forgot that I like him, even though like I don't think we actually got to hear more than like 5 words out of him in like any movie minus like the Jurassic Park remix.
In Mulan.
Loved him.
He's the guy in Mulan.
Who does he play in Mulan? Does he play in Mongolia?
No, the captain. The love interest.
Oh.
He plays the Asian.
The love.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. Man.
Plays the Asian one in China.
Yeah.
You know, do the math.
I'm glad I could clear that up for you guys. I'm always around to help if you ever need it.
My least favorite Steven Seagal. Like, I had no idea. I hate him so much that I've never looked into him whatsoever. So I didn't know until you guys started talking about it that like he's like an actual like rapist piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
So like yeah, but now like especially like fuck Steven Seagal. I fucking hate him so much. I don't care what he's in. I don't care how good it is. Fuck him. He sucked. He really fucking sucked.
It's kind of like Michael Jackson to me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorite.
I mean, Thriller's still Thriller.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I'll say my favorite is Steven Seagal.
God damn it. Fuck yourself.
Hey, you know what? He overexceeded my expectations of what Steven Seagal would be in a movie. He was much better than I thought he would be. All right? Much better than Casey Rayback in this one.
You just gave him a completion trophy. That is exactly what he got for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's okay. I respect your decision,
yep.
Max.
I don't know. He can't get a completion trophy. He did not complete the movie.
He was actually the first significant character to die in this.
Yeah, that's true.
One of only 2 times he's ever died in a movie, by the way.
Really? What was the other film then?
We actually watched it, John. Machete.
Oh,
remember
he dies. He was in Machete.
Machete.
He's the one who keeps on calling him Machete. He samurais himself in that movie. He stabs himself in the stomach, just cuts himself open. And he's just like, as he's doing, he just goes like, It's just like
Machete.
Seppuku. It's a fun thing.
And then my least favorite, I'll say, is Marla Maples, just for her bad life choices outside of the movie.
A fair choice.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right, time for our Hold My Popcorn ratings. Prepare to be judged. What's your rating for Executive Decision?
I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 8,288 Seagals multiplied by Kurt Russell's penis circumference times his length. And then that's raised to the power of hope and world peace.
Okay, good. That's a rating. That is a rating.
Yep. Okay,
it's more of a math problem.
Just go.
But okay.
Mine's simple.
There you go, guys.
You're right. Hey, I'm going on vacation. All right.
Yeah.
All of this is for you.
I've already checked
the
out.
The more you know.
I'll give this one absentee president out of Steven Seagal's fantastic, like ragdoll death flying out of an airplane.
I'll give this one faint Halle Berry mustache because she did kind of have a little bit of a stash in this. The HD really kicked in.
Oh, wow.
You can Google it, and if you Google Halle Berry mustache, the next thing that comes up is Executive Decision. It just autocorrects it to Executive Decision. Yeah, she actually admitted to it too.
You should email her.
It is what it is.
Yep. I should email.
It's not as like life ending.
I should email Halle Berry and say, "Hey, you have a mustache and Executive Decision."
Yeah, you should.
Will you come on the show?
Dude, will you come on? It'd be funny if she was like, let's do it.
Yeah, we should say we're doing an episode about how you had a mustache and an Executive Decision.
She showed up to the Razzies to accept her Worst Actress award, so maybe she will. She might come on.
I mean, we've we've got a lot of people on who
who have not come on since.
Yeah. Well, she won't come on either.
All right, but I'll give that out a one just odd wardrobe change by Kurt Russell in this movie, where he goes from a tuxedo to a sweatshirt back to the tuxedo at the end of this movie.
I know, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But they make it a point to show him put the sports coat back on at the end of the movie. Just to be like, say, no, this wasn't a mess up. He wanted to put the tuxedo back on.
Choices were made. I can only just think of 30 Rock, where it's like, what? It's after 5 p.m. What am I, a farmer? It's just that. Like, gotta be classy. I'm gonna go hit on this stewardess. I'll be right back. What the fuck?
All right. Any final thoughts?
I really hate Steven Seagal. I just really fucking
Well, good, because next week we'll be doing Under Siege 2 when he's on a train. Followed by whatever the fuck he did after that.
I got one parting thought here,
Mhm,
and it's for our old buddy Bill.
Who was supposed to come on again.
Bill, you know what you did, and I'm not going to accept it, okay? And I'm going to be at North Square at 5 p.m. sharp for the next 3 months. You better show up one of these days. All right, bud. You know what you did, okay? You know what you did. So I don't need to explain it here.
Bill.
All right, Bill.
Bill, I read that Hollywood in this movie. He now lives in Portland, Maine, so just bring Hollywood with you.
I will.
Bill, I'm on your team.
You can flash Morse code and scare Tim away.
Oh, joke's on you guys. I'm going to have Cappy with me on a stretcher.
On a stretcher. All right, Cappy, tell me what to do. How do we get through this?
Definitely not John Leguizamo, because he will definitely get attacked by one of the people in this movie.
All right, Cappy, tell me what to do to get through this. What? Throw your limp body off the stretcher as a distraction. Okay.
Better do it quick before the morphine kicks in. Cappy away!
Oh my God.
Throws him down the hill.
I'm looking at Steven Seagal's filmography here, and he did a movie called The Asian Connection.
Yeah, which I'm sure he was the Asian.
He probably was. Don't worry, I've studied in the Eastern arts. It's the code of the East.
I want to do a movie called The Asian, in which I'm the Asian and also Native American, even though I'm neither of those.
He's in 2008. He was in a movie, The Onion Movie, and his name under it is Cock Puncher.
Yes. Oh, what's that one?
Jesus Christ! Another one sounds like a porno. It's just called Pistol Whipped.
I gave Steven Seagal money one time. I saw that movie with him and Ja Rule in theaters when they like go into Alcatraz or whatever. What the fuck was it? Tim, you were there too. What was the name of that movie? We were in like 7th grade when we saw that.
Wait, was I?
Yeah.
Because I was about to ask. Dude. Like, was there a promise of a fucking hand job?
It was a birthday party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Fuck Steven
Oh, I
Seagal.
do remember that. I do remember that movie.
What the fuck is I'm looking it up right now. What is it?
This is fucking
Half
ridiculous.
Past Dead.
Half Past Dead. Yep.
Dead. My God.
With him, he's wearing the shot of this. He's in a prison jumpsuit with a do-rag on.
Oh, God.
It has a 4.7 on IMDb. We saw that movie in theaters.
That's a lot. That's a lot higher than I would have expected.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ja Rule.
His face just looks like a big fucking, just like a stale meatloaf. It's just, it seems like his head gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
And his hair gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, I don't think it seems like it. It does.
Oh, God.
He's just like goes around to weird conventions and eats himself into a stupor.
Oh, God. They're in pre-production for Above the Law 2. Great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's going to be a straight to VOD movie, I'm sure. No one's going to fucking finance that thing.
Oh, my God. Another movie called Sheep Impact. What the fuck?
You start off so well. Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death. They all involve like death or like some sort of like law, something. Out for Justice, Under Siege, On Deadly Ground, Under Siege 2, and then Executive Decision, and then the Glimmer Man, and then he fell off.
Jesus, On Deadly Ground. What the fuck is the good God, Urban Justice? Oh, that's got to be good.
Jesus.
Anyways, okay, I'm just
stuff.
gonna just fucking hate fuck videos of him for the rest of the night.
No, don't hate fuck videos. Just go on YouTube and look up Steven Seagal running. Just watch that instead. It is so fucking good. Oh my God. It's amazing. I think it's from above the, most of it I think is from Above the Law. I've never seen a man run like that. It's phenomenal.
There's a reason why he doesn't run in any other movie.
No. It's so funny. You'd think it was a joke, the way he runs. Anyway.
Gut shot straight. What is... Okay. Yep, that's it. There are absolutely no social media things. You know, once again, the world is ending. Act accordingly.
And we don't record enough to get any kind of continuous flow here. So with that, too, we might be out for another month or so. We'll find out. John's got starting up with school. Tim is going on vacation. So we'll be back at some point.
Bill, you know what you did. You know why you hurt me, so.
I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes.
Saw it with my own two eyes.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Deuces, fuckers.